Here's Miss Terry.
Hey everyone, we are playing around today. Don't even know if we'll end up with a soap if we're making a soap. So we're playing. I've got Aloe and Olive Premium Base here from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I'm not sponsored by them. Wish I was. But anyway, we're playing today, and Mr. Soaps and Such is going to do most of the talking because we are microphone challenged today, and we'll just see how it goes. But hopefully we'll have fun.
Yeah, I had our lavalier mic going, and it turns out the receiving end with the actual microphone getting plugged into it isn't working anymore. So I have to get another one or have another wired mic pulled all the way around so you can pick it up. But anyway, for now, I'm on microphone duty. Hello, everyone. That's some of our rainbow shreds that we've made before. Those are fun to make. I've helped make those so I can actually talk about it. She has these molds for little like rectangles or squares, whatever. I think they're more like rectangular, but they're solid colors. And then I get the little, I don't know, what is it, cheese grater or something, and I'm just shredding them into bowls and shredding them into bowls and shredding them into a thing like that container she showed, and then she'll put them in and mix them in with a clear base. That's the thing I like about this melt and pour compared to like just the basic like cold process. Like you can do really artistic stuff with a cold process, but this gets you, since you already have the soap base made, this gets you straight to the art fun. Like she's got that base and now she's dropping these little shreds in here, and who knows what's going to happen. But that's the kind of the fun of the process of making soap, and what we're trying to instill with our now famous Make Bath Time Fun Again byline. That really caught on. It's amazing how viral that went. That was sarcasm.
Well, that was from a customer, because the customer said literally, Miss Terry, you're making bath time fun again.
A customer said, Miss Terry, you're making bath time fun again. And so...
Customer and friend.
Customer and friend. Oh, yes.
It's Ron.
Oh, yes, Ron.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to need from you.
Mm-hmm.
Is just a temperature check every so often here.
Okay.
Okay?
So I get to look...
Don't do it at the stream. Wait till I pull back.
I get to look down into this thing.
Only when it actually
and see that
up.
Digital readout right there?
But only do it when
I know when I'm not going to do it right now, but showing the viewers some inside stuff so they know. Instead of just standing here talking about what it looks like when they can already see that. 99.8. Now it's 95. Oh, I see, when it just keeps going up and down there.
Yeah. Oh, we're starting to see some melting. See that?
So what are you planning on doing with... Are you going to roll this? Is this going to be like a roll or a flat that goes down in a thing?
Can you take the temperature? Yeah, I don't know what
107.
I'm trying to make a sheet.
114.
Okay, good.
It changes every couple seconds. So if everyone saw that, when I'm taking the temperature, it cools down so fast that it's like you're getting like that initial...
This may not work. Let's see what that looks like.
118, 122. It's somewhere between 116 and 122, depending on where I was pointing it.
Do another check.
There we go.
Straight down over it, if you can. About 8 inches from it.
135.
Okay. Oh, see? It's starting to actually do a melty thing now.
Nice.
I'm just playing. This may not work at all. This may be a horrid mess.
And she's referring to those little green right there that are starting to melt off instead of just being a strip. Oh, look, yeah, the pink one did it too over there. Oh, that'd be neat, yeah. So this is kind of the fun of melt and pour soap making. You have some base, you melt it, lay it out there, and then you just start throwing things in it to see what happens. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that. She plans out her soaps and has to think about with embeds, you know, with the embeds, it's a little trickier because you have to get it just right before it solidifies. And if it moves the wrong way, I mean, there's all kinds of complicated things that can go with that. But this part looks like it's kind of like any beginner could play around with something like this.
You just have to be careful not to overheat the soap. But again, I'm trying to push the boundaries and see what I can do by using a heat gun. I don't know. This may make the soap unusable. I have no idea. But I wanted to play with it and see.
It's kind of fun though. Something different. It's a Sunday and it's a sunny day. Kind of like, I don't know what. Yeah.
Oh, we got some. Look at this. We got some stuff going on here. I think, because these are old, so you see how there's a skin on them? See how there's a skin on these? Uh-huh. That's because they're older, and so they've dried out a little bit on the edges, meaning some of that glycerin or some of the water content, has come out of them. And so they're not bad, they're not ruined, they just have a thing going on. But they're still melting, and we still may come up with something cool. I don't want it to melt into, I don't want all the colors to mud together too much. Can you do a temperature check over on this side for me?
151.
Ooh, that's too hot. Okay, so we're going to give it a rest. We're going to give it a rest and let it cool.
160 over on the other side.
Oh, that's too hot.
Right there was 160.
That's too hot.
That was where 160 is.
Sure. You know, I think part of the problem may be this heat thing is buckling. I have under here, oops, I don't know if you can see it.
That was our wrapper thing.
I have I don't even know how to describe it at this point. I have a it's a heat pad from the National Shrink Wrap System, which I'm not a fan of using because I'm terrible at it, but I'm using the pad from it to kind of protect, not that my table's any good, but I'd rather it not catch on fire in the middle of a video. So there's that.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, so I just was I didn't know how hot this stuff would get. This heat gun gets ridiculously hot, but that's the surface of it and where the air comes out. I didn't know how hot it would get on the edges. I mean, a distance from the soap, but I do know that I have melted soaps with it in the past. And so that's one of the reasons I thought, well, let's melt some soaps on purpose. So that is cool. That is kind of tie-dye looking, don't you think?
Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah, they're starting to blend in over here.
Yeah, it's starting to muddy a little bit. I probably should have stopped sooner and let it go. But again, it's not really usable just because, for a pretty soap because of the weird little skin on it. If I had freshly shredded these, it probably would do what I wanted. But we're going to let it set up for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and play a little bit more. I got to get rid of this wrinkle in the middle, though. That's causing everything to... That's why it's melding, because it's coming off of the...
Okay, so we're going to hit pause. You at watching will not notice this pause. It'll immediately come back, but we're going to pause it. Okay, we're back now. And I'm doing the talking right this second, but Terry has her own mic. We're going to experiment with that. I put a noise gate on our mics just to see how that handles the background noise and all of that jazz. And so if Terry's going to say something, this would be a time to reach for the mic so I can unmute it for her. There you go. You're on.
Hello. We are back, and I don't know, I can't leave soap alone sitting there. We're going to peel this up and see what happened. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. And so I will narrate. Yeah. Yeah, when I started talking, we were rolling. And Terry doesn't know what's going on because I'm throwing all kinds of stuff at her, so please be forgiving. It's my fault. I'm just experimenting with the audio and asking her to know things she couldn't possibly know. But this is cool, having me play by play. It's too bad I don't do a John Madden impression. That would have been funny. I don't, but it would have been funny if we did. So what do we think of this?
It looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's usable soap because it got really, really hot. And I don't know if you can see the wrinkling that's gone on there. Mm-hmm. If I turn it that way and embed that in a soap, it would look really cool. So now we just, at the end, I'm going to save some of these things and maybe we'll do a lather test and see if it's still soap or if it's become plastic.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah. What do you mean by usable soap?
Well, when you overheat soap, it can cause problems. So it's no longer can cause the soap to lose the integrity of actually being soap, and so it may not lather. It may get rubbery or feel gross on your skin. It's not going to harm anyone.
It holds the shape, but
Yeah.
it won't be like soap. It won't
Right.
have all the things that you love about soap.
It won't. Yeah, it won't really act like soap. It will act more like a piece of plastic or rubber.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, that's why we don't overheat. Well, one of the many reasons. But we're going to find out.
That's why we don't bump the camera stand either with my foot like I just did. There
Oh.
wasn't an earthquake in Florida, folks.
We have lots of table quakes around here, though.
Yeah, lots.
I think it looks really super cool. Looks like a tie-dye soap of some kind.
Neat.
Different than my other tie-dye soap. But.
So were you just trying to mix those things together, or were we going to go on to a step 2 with this?
What I think with this, because again, like I say, I'm just experimenting. I don't know what I'm doing. Making cool little sheets of soap with different colorants or whatever. I may let you guys decide. I liked Mr. Soapy's idea of maybe rolling it up and using it in a soap, but I also like the idea of somehow using it flat because I think the pattern is super cool. I don't know that it'll roll without breaking, but give me your suggestions in the comments and we'll see what we can do with it.
Sounds cool.
Sound cool? All right. So, where am I gonna put this? I need a thing. I need a place.
Sounds like something from Les Mis. I need a thing. I need a place. Put this soap. Right now I don't not know. Yeah, I just messed up the melody. Anyway.
Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome. Yeah, we need one of those fancy stainless steel tables, but we have whatever table a card table.
Oh
Pretty?
my gosh.
Let me unmute your mic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, you're live?
Oh my gosh. Can you see how pretty this is?
Yeah.
That is flipping amazing.
Let me look in the other monitor.
That looks so cool. I don't know if it's catching the details of this, but it looks so amazing. Wow.
Yeah, it is on the real recording. And for folks watching at home, little behind the scenes, the monitor we use out here is just a old school flat screen that was in a hotel that somebody gave me. So the colors aren't as pristine. So I have to double check things in our main monitor in the other room here, which is just a bedroom right next door. Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
That looks awesome.
Let me adjust the vertical.
I don't even care if it works as soap. Could glue that to a piece of stock card or something and hang it in a frame. It's so cool.
That is an excellent point about soap art. Does it have to function as soap? Like where's the line? Have we even has that question even been asked?
Well, yeah, the question's asked of me all the time as somebody who also sells soap. My customers, some of them don't want to use it and talk about, well, that's too pretty to use. I hear that all the time. Mm-hmm. And I really do recommend that they use it because to me, part of it's not just art, it's not just soap, it's an experience. There's my little kind of not byline, but it's my subtext. It's the fragrance. It's the feel of the soap. It's the ability of this type of soap to help your skin maintain moisture. It doesn't necessarily moisturize, but it sure helps your skin to keep the moisture it has. That's what the glycerin tends to do.
It works on mine really well.
Yeah.
I use all the soaps. All the different ones, the shaving soaps and things, and I've had a lot of good success with it.
He sure does, my best customer.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you could. I know people that won't use it. They want it to decorate their bathroom, and they'll put it in their bathroom because it matches some really cool decor they have or something. And I'm fine with that, but I think they're missing out a little bit. But if you wanted to hang something on your wall like this, I don't know why you couldn't. It would have to be fairly airtight, or you might get some glycerin dew. That'd be the only thing.
Right.
You'd have to encase it pretty well. But I don't know. That's neat.
Is that the end of experiment number 1?
That's the end of experiment number 1. We're going to move on to another one because I'm having fun playing now.
Me too. This is fun. This is the first time, folks, that we've ever done this with live audio going in. And so we've got a little ATEM mini camera switcher that we've been using to plug our camera in and things, and that's how we get it to our computer. And so technically we could use 4 cameras if we wanted and do kind of a broadcast thing, but we just do the 1 camera thing so that she can just have something right over her making soap, and so far it's worked pretty well. And then of course we're both musicians. We do audio as well, audio recordings from time to time. And so we have the equipment for that. And so we've been able to put some of that to use here. And I don't know if I was just getting told to cut.
No, keep going.
Keep going. All right, keep going.
This little bit of soap.
She's melting a little soap in there. Basically, behind the scenes, I don't know. We're going to set it up because this is in our house. And I don't know what your houses look like, but ours is not made for public consumption right now. We work in this room. We don't have gatherings. But we basically have it in our front room where Terry teaches voice lessons, because it's a nice open room. And then in the very next room, separated by a wall, and you can tell by the acoustics in this room, is the studio that we use. It's also like a extra bedroom. I sleep in here a lot because it's soundproofed, so it's super quiet and it's dark. So that's what's going on here. Okay, we're back. This is the second experiment that we're doing. The audio experiment has not been as fun as we thought it would be. Oh.
I'm just going to let you talk.
Oh, I know. I just realized I didn't turn the camera off and turn it back on. Our camera has a 30-minute recording limit.
I mean, all I'm doing here is I kind of want to redo what I did on the table, but have it be flat and not get all,
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to try another color thing that shouldn't be as dry as these.
Okay.
But this might hold the heat in a little bit better too.
So she's basically just going to put run the same kind of experiment in the actual mold this time, so it didn't stick to the mat that we were using. So now she's using the heater on it to melt it up, and
it doesn't stick, but the lump in the middle is making it run off to the side. I don't know if that makes any sense. You probably will hear the heat gun on there. I don't know. Do you want me to pick up the mic and talk at all?
No, I just aimed it towards you on the table so that if you happen to say something, it's not completely lost.
Okay.
Because like you said, we can always just do a voiceover or interact with this. Mm-hmm. Take the best parts.
Well, it definitely seems to be starting the melt easier being in this enclosed thing. So.
Yeah.
And this is silicone, so it is heat proof.
Ah, good. That's why the mold's not getting damaged by the heat.
Right.
Because it's silicone.
As is this.
The mat.
Yeah.
At least we got some use out of this orange mat underneath the mat.
Mm-hmm. And it's still, well, now the middle is more like in the 120s, 131. We're still in a safe zone. I don't like to take this base over 140
Yeah. Why?
because that's when it starts losing the
Oh.
integrity, especially if it's for longer periods
Mm-hmm.
of time. So, I mean, you definitely don't want to try to heat your base up that high if it's crafter's choice. Stevenson's can go higher, has to go higher, really. Which we'll be playing around with some of that soon too,
That sounds good.
due to the shortage of the premium crystal clear. All right, I'm going to turn this off for a second, and I want to check temperature, and then I also want to at 130, 127, 131. So it's still not overheating. We're still not at that point. Oh, there's 140. I just saw that. Like one little spot there. So I may give it another minute and then let it set. I'm hoping to kickstart the melting like we did before.
Okay. I'm going to do something while you're doing that so that they're not going to hear talking for a minute or two here.
Okay, well they can watch me melt it.
It might be better. I didn't like how the noise gate was interacting with the heat thing
I
there.
was worried about that a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted it to only be your voice that triggered it.
Right.
So I had to back off the attack or something. It was just getting a little too... Because right now, what they can hear that you can't is that that heater's not opening your noise gate. Only your voice is loud enough to do it. So hopefully that helps. That still might end up being annoying and we'll lose it. And we'll just do a
Might end up
voiceover.
what?
Well, we'll end up doing a voiceover if it does, you know.
Okay. No big whoop. All right, I'm going to let it rest a minute or two. And
Okay.
let's see where the heat takes it. Because I can see some melting. I don't know if you can see it in there. The skins kind of lay on top
Okay.
and kind of look like silly string to me. I don't know.
Okay.
Don't you think? It's got that like deflated silly string look.
Yeah, I can see that. I
And
can
then
see that.
underneath I see the color like seeping out from the little skins. It's wild.
So will we hit pause on the video, turn the camera off? Of course, nobody watching this will experience any of this time.
Let me see time. Let me just check temps and stuff and see where we are. Well, so far still not necessarily ruining anything. Wondering, should I push it a little further or should I just leave it be and trust that enough color is coming out that when I flip it over it's going to look like that cool tie-dye effect. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know how to make soap yet.
That's true. That's true. You're still learning. Well, and I don't know because this is something way out of my norm. I mean, just playing around here. Nobody uses a heat gun to melt their soap on purpose. Nobody except this whack job. Yeah, let's leave it and see what happens. Let's leave it and cool. We'll come back. I want to try some different types of scraps and stuff too.
And I'm going to use my favorite button. Fade to black. Okay, we're back.
Okay, I think I'm going to peel this out and see what the back looks like.
Okay.
Hoo-hoo. Well, it's not as much fun as the first one. To me. It's still pretty. Yeah, it's still pretty. It's just got some weirdness to it.
That's cool.
You still see some of the strands, which is kind of neat, but I was hoping for all of that. It's still nifty. Okay, so
How's that
I'm
look?
thinking with this one that I put it back in and fill with clear on this side and encase it. You think?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That way it's just, you know.
Yeah.
I am going to encase it with this, so it's going to have a little bit of a yellow twinge to it, but I'm hoping to be able to make this the front. It's that solid.
Okay.
Like it doesn't, there's these not so much, but I think that'll seep in and under and around all that. Because I just didn't have enough melted for it. Oh, look at that. That's fun. Okay, let's get those out of there. Little crumbs. And then I'm going to try to set this to the side and do something else on the mat. One more thing, and then I guess we'll probably be done. I had some other stuff to do, but I think we'll save it for another time.
You sure? Because we got the audio's working pretty good now.
No, I don't know. I guess let's see how these next two go.
Yeah.
These little tools are really handy. I mean, they're just little scrapers, but they did happen to come with the loaf molds that I like to use, which I don't know if they're easy to find anymore because Amazon frequently stops selling things, or the companies, you know, don't have them anymore for a while. So that's... Oh, I know I didn't put that in right, did I? Wonder if I should pour some and then put it in like a great big embed, just in case, or is that going to make bubbles happen? Should have paid closer attention to what corner was where, huh?
I don't know.
I'm just saying I should have. I mean, I know I should have. Think this more solid corner. Nope, it has to go this way. So, all right, phooey. All right. Now it's that decision about whether or not to pour soap first. I think I have to. All right, so you're gonna have to give me a couple of minutes to melt some soap then.
So we'll just pause and then come right back.
Yep.
All right. Viewers, this is exciting. We don't know what's going to happen. Okay. We're back.
All right. Same soap base. It's a little yellow, but it's just going to have to be. That's what we're going with today. So, pouring it at about 130. It's a little on the hot side for not melting stuff, but again, really thin layers, so it might melt this a little bit. My biggest, since we're just experimenting here anyway, my biggest hope is to not get a bunch of bubbles on the other side, so I'm spritzing this pretty well, mostly for that, not to necessarily cool anything. Okay. All right. Everybody say a little something. Oh. There we go. It did get back in. All right. It did push the soap all the way to that side, though. Okay, so here we go. Push it in. Hoping there's no bubbles there. And then... here. Here. Push that way. I don't know. Just trying to push anything that's sitting around, hanging out as a bubble to come to the sides. I don't know. We'll see what it... maybe it'll be a soap. Maybe it will be little sample soaps for my sale I have coming up. Anybody that makes a purchase or something, maybe we'll do that with these. I mean, it looks neat. It's not something I'd intentionally say, ooh, I have to make that, but it looks neat. Boy, that side just wants to float up, doesn't it? All right. So, while I'm considering the other side, the front, this still looks neat. You could probably have it either side. Could probably add more soap and make it a thicker full-size soap. But I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to waste the soap just in case. All right. I guess that one's it. And then I'll set it to the side and play with the heat gun for a little bit more. And then that'll be it, I guess. Unless we have the energy to do more later. I do want to play. I have some ideas. I want to play with dissolving paper a little bit, or soluble paper. I have some thoughts, and oh boy. I think I may have to just let this set up as is.
Okay.
Yeah, usually I forgot when I usually do this where I'm going to pick it up and move it, I have to put it on a board. Because
the table's not level.
It's just too flimsy. Well, not just not level, but the bottom is too, it's not a real sturdy, solid one. Mm-hmm. Not like those really great ones that are made out of wood and have a whole insert and you can just pick them up and move them.
Right.
So, all right. So let's just let it set up and then come back, I guess.
Okay. Sounds good. I will hit stop.
Okay. I am just sacrificing some scraps here. So we'll see what happens.
What are we doing with this one?
Oh, just melting it.
Okay.
Same thing, but different shapes and different... It's a little newer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not brand new or anything. And it's a lot more soap. I don't know. I just want to see what happens. And then... taking a big chance here. Anybody that knows what happens when orange and purple combine. This could just be a whole mess of brown when we're done. Might not be so pretty.
Well, everyone's going to hear differing audio quality throughout this video to truly put quotes around the word experiment.
This is an experiment. That's what it is. All right. I'm going to turn this thing on. Oh, yeah. It does. I don't know if any of you've worked, anybody who's done, I guess, shrink wrapping has worked with a heat gun, but normally you're supposed to point it away for a few seconds and let it heat up, but I'm not caring. Just getting it started because I'm not trying to avoid shrink wrap. I'm just seeing what I can do to the soap. Why? Because I can. So these are some scraps I was going to do something with a long time back, but I don't know. It just didn't happen. Doesn't mean I do have older scraps that I'll use, and this might still make a usable soap thingy. I don't know. We'll find out together because these will all have lather tests at the end. That second batch that I did in the mold, I have a little more hope for actually being usable soap. First of all, because it never got above the danger zone for the temperature. So this one I'm pushing a little bit because I'm using larger chunks, as you may notice. But I'm also using, not as old of soap. This was Halloween. Those shreds have been in use now for a couple of years, and they're still good soap shreds. I just don't know if they're good soap shreds for like actually having them melt. Usually when I use those, that's different temperatures for different areas. I think I saw 138 at some point, but most of it is well below that. So we'll keep it going. Oh yeah, so the shreds, when I use them, I'm usually not concerned about whether or not they'll melt, because I just don't want them to melt in the soap base unless I'm trying to do that intentionally, which I did in one of the videos you may have seen. I have several neon shred videos, but usually I'm just using them as shreds, as shredded soap, making confetti soap, making gemstones, making all kinds of crazy things with shreds. These still look like they're a little dry though. I don't know if you can see the top where the little shredded pieces were. They still have that skin effect, it looks like. But we're just going to see what we can do, because it's fun to melt soap with a heat gun. I mean, I could see ASMR people just wanting to watch soap being melted with a heat gun, because why not? It's fun. All right, I'm going to crank it back up.
All right, go for it.
Let it heat back up. This is cold, so we're going to have to get it moving again, hopefully not too fast. All right. I forget what I was chatting about, but oops.
You had said that ASMR. You had said something about ASMR people would like to just watch you melting soap.
Oh, yeah, I've seen things like that. People like to watch stuff melt. I don't know. It would, like I started to say, it was, that would be a waste if that's what you're doing on a regular basis. But this is just kind of for funsies. I'm not going to start melting all my soaps for no reason, I promise. And it may turn out that something comes of this, that it's a fun, interesting new way to use up soap scraps. I don't know. It might work a little bit better if I do this with some of the Stevenson soap scraps. I don't know. And it may not work at all. It may not be soap by the time we're done with it. We'll see. It is leaving. I think these were dried up a little too much as well, because they are leaving a skin. They're getting that wrinkled look. But then some is melting. So maybe on the other side we get that melted look. I don't know. Can you see much of what's going on from where you are?
Yeah, I can see it. It's hard to tell what it's going to look like. What are you going to put it in?
Huh?
What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. I guess it depends on what it looks like when it's done. If it looks cool, I could embed it in another soap. It can be, always use something like this. This embeds in crystal soap, stuff like that. I don't know. I can't decide until I see it. And it may be another one that I put up out to the followers, the people watching this weird video. Maybe you guys have some ideas of what I should do with it when we're done. And I would like your input on the other ones as well. No decisions have been made, but oh, look at that. Oh boy, it's definitely puddling, and it doesn't. Wow. If that would only stay like that.
Yeah, it's really kind of...
really cool. I'm afraid it's going to muddy too much. Let's see. Let me turn this off for a split second here. Just because I think this might be a smart way to kind of make a little barrier.
I tell you what, the room sounds way better without that window unit going.
Too far. Yeah. Well,
you were able to walk away, and I'm getting clear audio as soon as that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can keep it off. It's not even hot anymore, so there's that. Wow, that's pretty. That is a river of prettiness. Oh, and check temperature in a bit, so let's do that. Let's see where we are. Whoa, we're hot. We are hot. 142, 143, 137. Again, if it goes up beyond 140, doesn't mean it's automatically ruined. I just don't like to take it up beyond there. Okay, so some of these areas that aren't quite as melty, it looks like they are low enough that I could probably come back in and spot those, because right now they look hairy. Doesn't it look kind of furry?
It looks like an island from an aerial view.
A hairy island of purple.
There might be life forms down there. We'll have to set phasers on stun.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna target the areas that are just like kind of cropped up a little bit, sticking up still. And then I'll probably let it rest and see, because really you'd only need one side to look good, depending on how you use it. You can always compensate for something not looking good by putting it either black behind it, and so that you're only seeing, one side. I don't know. But that is, I'm surprised that just doesn't look like brown. I'm really shocked how pretty that is. All right, here we go. I'm going to kind of aim it this way because it's obviously my good old favorite table. The only table I have to work on.
Little card table.
Or maybe it could be that it's the room. I don't know, but it is never, I have to use my right hand. I'm sorry. It's just, I can't move it around enough with my left hand and have control over it, especially while I'm talking. But I was going to try to aim it more that way because it's all running down, but see if I can get the little hairy mountains to smooth out a little. Oh yeah, see, that is actually all melted underneath, with the exception of the weird protruding mountains. There it's going a little bit. Another possibility, because this is quite a thick layer of mush at this point, another possibility is scraping off some of that or cutting it, if it's even viable soap. We don't even know yet. I think I'm going to leave it. Nope. I see one area I really want to. This area right here, that's not quite melted enough to be. I don't know. Let's try it a little bit more right in here. Some of these edges. It's hard to see what's going on under the surface of the hairy soap skins. And they're not hairy. There's no hairs. Just so you know, that's all soap skin. That's all just soap skin.
That's neat.
Huh?
It's neat.
It is. It's different looking. I mean, it kind of reminds me of terrain, like you said, like an island or something. Looks like a space alien planet or something. Well, okay, let's leave it be and see what we get later. All right?
Yeah, so we're going to hit stop then.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I don't even think I need the scraper for this. This is a solid mass of soap. Maybe for some of the more delicate parts. It's got neon on it. I don't care. So Don't come after me. Well, the little barriers worked. Look at that. Sorta. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ooh. Oh no, it's just wrinkling. It's okay. It's set up. Looked like for a second there it wasn't set up. Pushing it a little bit just because I really want to get this going. Wow, what do you guys think this looks like? Let me know in the comments. First of all, let me know what this looks like. Being clean.
I just keep thinking, Captain, my sensors say it's made of glycerin soap and some additives and
Ooh, okay.
looks like Australia got volcanic activity.
But look at that. I mean, it's not as
Countrywide.
shiny because it's, you know, the top side is the shiny. This surface, I don't know if any of you have ever used one of these mats, but they're matte. They're a matte. The silicone mats don't have any shine to them. So up against it, that's the look you're going to get, which is still really cool. Now, if you cut this into some kind of shape or something and embedded it in clear soap, it's going to be shiny because you're embedding in clear soap. What I see a little bit that could be kind of fun and useful is these little lines and rings around here. This looks like agate. A lot of it looks like agate to me. The gemstone or stone agate. Oh gosh, even that one with the hole in it. We may have some agate soaps on our hands, folks. Very likely. Because we're not using this side. Now where I would use this side is possibly this area here without the whatever. Unless there's a way to scrape that off and have it still look decent, which I think that's too time consuming for anything I want to do. So I think we're going to stick with the back. I don't know what I'll come up with. It's not going to be today. It'll have to be a separate video because I'm exhausted. My back's done. It's not my friend. It never has been, but especially not my friend today. I hope this is catching some of that. Are you seeing it?
Can you see what?
Can you see the marbling kind of effect or whatever you want to call that? The rivers of color?
Yeah, you can.
Cool. All right. And the other thing I'm not sure if you can see is some of it's kind of see-through, which looks really neat. Yeah, these just look like crystals to me. That is fun. Okay, so I'm not going to cut that one up yet. I'm going to save that one or surprise you with it or something. I've got to make something out of it, that's for sure. Then let's unmold this guy. Let me see where I can put this. Oh, here's what I'm going to do. Excuse my reach, everybody. I'm just going to have to reach in your face here for a second. Move that soap until I can put it somewhere else. Clear a little room out. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be so cool. I'm very excited about it. This is what we ended up with for maybe sample soaps. I don't know. I have no idea yet. I guess let's see how thick they ended up, because I wasn't really measuring anything or paying attention to that. I was just trying to make something out of it, seeing if it could be done. Looks like maybe half an inch thick, which is not bad at all for sample type soaps. So that might end up being our samples for a while. Oh boy, that's fun. All right, let's put that there. Well, the thing I was worried about didn't really happen much, and that's bubbles. I was putting it back in with the soap under it. I was afraid I was going to get bubbles with the wet soap under it, but maybe a little bit in there, but I kind of think that one might have been already in there.
That looks
a little
cool.
bit there.
That looks
cool.
really cool.
Yeah, I like it. I wish it had all melted, but it all looks really cool anyway. Even the part that's got partially clear.
Looks like a picture painting.
Yeah. Jackson Pollock.
I mean, you could use that as a... if you made it that it wasn't soap, I mean, you could, then if you did a resin over it, you could make it like a placemat or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I don't know if that would work. I don't know much about... I don't know. I love resin, and I love watching other people make it. But I don't know much about the parameters of what it will stick to.
Well, yeah, I know. I just meant that it looks... Yeah. It's a solid form, and it's square like a placemat, so, I mean...
Uh-huh.
Something.
Yeah, it looks really cool. You could put it in a frame if you didn't have to worry about glycerin do. I don't know which side I like better. The one that looks like silly string, or the one I think I like this side better. The one that shows the melty stuff. Looks a little bit more like
cool.
Lisa Frank novel. Lisa Frank lava. That's what I was trying to say. A volcano of Lisa Frank exploded on my table, something like that. Okay, so here's what I guess I'm going to do. I'm going to go get our lather test stuff ready. And we're going to lather test some of this. To cut a little... I'm not going to chop it all here. I'm just going to cut a little piece. We just want to see if it works as soap. So we will be right back.
Okay. Okay, let's see how it lathers.
Alrighty. So we're going to do this in order. I cut a piece from each of the things we did. Trying to save the pieces I wanted to reuse or use the most if they actually lather. So this is from our first little fun attempt, which is my favorite, I think. Here we go. It's hard to use because it's such a weird little shape, but it is definitely lathering. That is soap, my friends. That is soap. Breaking apart a little bit, but if I reuse that, it's going to be in something else, obviously. It's too thin to be something else on its own. Even the little one-use type soaps would have to have more stability than that. So it would be like on a paper or something, but that's not what I want to do with that. I want to put it in something else and show off that amazing design. This lather actually feels really darn good. Wow. I know it's a big mess with the little chunks, but can you see how nice that is? Wow. It's creamy, it's bubbly.
Looks really good.
A lot of lather. I mean, it's really amazing for one little sliver of soap. And just, it feels nice. Wow. Yeah, my skin, I have very sensitive skin, and if I have washed my hands using a soap that I destroyed, that I burned, and because I just wanted to see, well, does it really ruin the soap? Oh yeah, it does. And it does not feel like this. It feels gross on my skin, and this feels fantastic. I'm shocked, really. Okay. So the next one, I took our big piece we did in the, what do you call it? Not the loaf, but can't find the word.
I don't know what you mean. You put it in the mold.
The one we put in the big square mold, which has a name for it, and my brain isn't pulling it up right now because that's who I am. And what I did is it's a 10 by 11. And I cut off an inch from one side. So now it's basically a 10 by 10. Did I do it very neatly? No, I did not. Because these are just going to be samples. And I don't think for a free sample, anybody's going to care if they're a little askew. So that's one little corner. Tried to get one with lots of the heated up soap. And that's where I'm trying to kind of concentrate my agitation, which is part of making lather, by the way. I will be doing a lathering video down the road about how some people, especially if you sell soap and you have your customers who say, why can't I get my soap to lather? Why doesn't your soap lather? It isn't always your soap. It's sometimes the way the soap is used. So you have to have water, and a lot of people don't use enough. You see me dipping down back in here because adding water. Now this is not as bubbly to me as the other, but it feels just as good. Wow. It's a little more of a creamy lather, but look at it. That's a really nice lather.
Looks great. It looks great on the real monitor in here.
Oh, good, good. It's just nice. It's really nice. And if you add a little more water, look, bigger bubbles. See, that's something a lot of people don't realize is sometimes you just have not enough water in your lather. Can make it, it's really foamy and creamy. Wow. And again, feels really nice. There's another reason I used that aloe and olive as the base. That's one of my favorite soaps as far as the skin feel goes. Pretty darn nice. Okay, one more. And that's from our little soap that kind of, I don't know, looks like agate to me, but it's just a little corner because I really didn't want to destroy it. If it does work to be a soap, I want to make some way to do an agate slab. Wow, yeah, that's lathering for sure. I'm really shocked with the first one more than any because that's the one that had the parts that heated up quite a bit. But my guess is because it's really thin that they didn't keep that temperature for very long. So it was maybe a split second up in the, what we saw, one in the 150s, one in the 160s, I think. That's way too hot for this brand of soap, but it wasn't maintained at that temperature. Look at that. Nice. Nice. And this, the base, gosh, now I can't remember which base I used. I don't think it was the Crystal Clear Premium. I'll have to look that up because this one, it's been such a while since I've used it, but it feels pretty nice. And it lathers pretty well too. What do you think?
It looks great.
It's a good looking lather.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, really foamy and creamy. Add a little more water, you get a little bit bigger bubbles. And then if you keep kind of messing with that, you'll get it to be foamy again, more foamy. All right. So I'm just going to rinse. I could sit here and do lather tests all day because I love playing in bubbles. Kind of weird, I know, but that's been me since I was a kid. I love bubbles. I loved playing with soap. Maybe that's part of the reason I ended up being a soap artist. I don't know. So that was us playing around with soap and a heat gun. Results of that one, that's going to be our free samples for our upcoming sale. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to do. And that looks like silly string. Just my opinion. Please let me know what you think of the whole experiment. Are we completely crazy and have completely lost our minds, or was this a fun idea? And I mean, if you do try this, safety first. Don't heat it on your wooden kitchen table or something. You want to have a layer in between. We used a layer of heat protection that comes with the National Shrink Wrap system that is made to be heated to a high temperature. You could probably get away with using something that is heat safe in your home, something that you could put a hot pan on, let's say. So I know a lot of people have silicone. That's a good material. It doesn't overheat. But be mindful of what's underneath that. And then make sure that you're being careful with how you use your heat gun as well. And that's it. That's all we have. Any questions? Any remarks or kind remarks? You can tell us we're crazy. Just do it nicely, please. And let us know what you think. Let us know if you'd like to see more experiments like this, because this was fun. I had a great time, and I hope you did. Hope you learned something from it. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do. Please like the video, share it with your other soapy friends. And we will, on behalf of me and Mr. Soaps and Such, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.